All set.
Okay, thanks. We'll bring the meeting to order at 7:02. We have Judy, myself, Garth, Angie, John, and Jesse. I thought I saw, yeah, there's John and Jesse are here. So we have the full board. We also have Paul here. And I think the only ones we don't have right at the moment are Esther and Butch as alternates. So we'll call the meeting to order at 7:02. Seating of alternates not necessary. Communications. I spoke briefly with Catherine. Well, actually, I'll speak about her during Selectmen's update. Communications, I did touch base with the King and King, our audit firm, and we're gonna do an audit kickoff meeting, still to be determined. So that's the only communications I've had at this point. Next agenda item 4 is approved minutes of regular meetings Thursday, March 25th, 2021, Thursday, April 8th, 2021, and the special meeting of April 26th, 2021. The Thursday, April 8th, there were actually 2 meetings that day. So we'll pass both of those sets of minutes. The first meeting, March 25th, 2021. Anybody have, first off, I need a motion to approve the minutes, and then are there any corrections?
So moved, Angie DeSanto.
Jesse Burnham, second.
Thank you. Any corrections that anybody's noticed on those? All in favor of approving those minutes?
Aye.
Aye. Let me just make sure who is here. So it's Judy, Garth, Jesse, Angie, Esther, John, myself.
Esther's not here though, right?
Yeah, Esther's not here. I'm just making sure everybody is here. So there's Judy, Garth, me, Angie was there, John, and Jesse. Hey, we were all there. All right. Anybody opposed? Anybody abstain? Motion passes. Thank you. The second set of minutes is from the special meeting of Thursday, April 8th. And that was to elevate John Kopek into Carl's position. I'll need a motion to accept those minutes.
Motion to
Jesse
accept,
Burnham.
Judy.
All right, Jesse Burnham, second.
Thank you. So Judy was the first. Jesse was the second.
So I have
any-
a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead, Angie.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering, Carl was a regular member,
Correct.
so is that position a regular member or?
Yeah, so
substitute?
what we did is we elevated John from an alternate to quote full position at that meeting.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Anybody notice any corrections to that particular set of minutes? And this is a test. Yeah, so in there, Jesse Burnham moved and Angela DeSanto seconded a motion to elevate John Kopek to regular member to replace Carl Falsgraf, who passed in the minutes, it says, on May 19th, and the motion passed unanimously. Remember, this was a meeting that was April 8th. So I had a month dyslexia moment, and it really isn't May, it's March. So that'll be our correction. In that motion, it shouldn't say May 19th, it should say March 19th. Otherwise, I had no other corrections. All in favor of passing these, accepting these minutes with that particular correction?
Aye.
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 There was me, Judy, Garth, Jesse, Angie, John. Yeah, I think we were all there. So good. Thank you. Motion passes. Oh, anybody oppose? Abstain? Motion passes. The next set of minutes was the meeting that we had on April 8th.
26th. April 26th.
Yeah, so we had two meetings,
Oh, okay.
Valerie. So we had the
Okay,
special
okay.
meeting that was just a couple minutes before the regular meeting.
Okay.
And in fact, you were our recording secretary for that one, so that's good. So that meeting was called to order at 7:05. That was the meeting, I believe, where Paul was, no, I'm wrong on that. No, Paul comes later. Where we reviewed the various budgets and decided to pass them along to the public hearing. I'll need a motion to accept these minutes.
John Kopek, so moved.
Jesse Burnham, second.
Chuck, I have a question on those again.
Sure.
So how come we're not bringing the questions to the public as they were written in the minutes?
That was probably my error. I probably should have presented them that way. So we did not exactly draft that particular. That wasn't drafted by us. That was drafted out of the selectman's office. What's, the
So
questions on the referendum.
Yeah, so are we gonna correct it to what was posed at the meeting that we agreed to?
So what do you mean, Judy? What do you want to do?
No, I'm just saying they should be presented as posed per our meeting, not changed.
Yeah,
That's all.
so I didn't want to change these because this is what we agreed to at this meeting. Let me just ask Cheryl. Cheryl, do you have a thought on this?
Sorry.
That's okay.
On whether or not to change the minutes to
Yeah,
reflect
Judy,
what,
so what are you thinking? You wanted to change these minutes to reflect that particular document?
No, I kind of wanted the questions to be posed to the public the way they were written. So that way that if somebody didn't like a portion of it or whatever, they could choose not to or accept. So when I'm looking at the minutes, they were kind of broken up differently. But then
Right.
when we're bringing it to the public, there's portions that are bunched together now.
Yeah,
Right.
we've
I
always
don't
done
know.
that.
It's just my feeling.
Yeah, no, we've always done that. So what I'm trying to, or the way I looked at it was I'm just trying to break it out the way we look at it. But when we're voting, in fact, we used to be able to vote all on one number when we had, we would always vote on Region 19, but there was a time when we put all the budgets together. And then everybody sort of had a spaz because they wanted to be able to pass the town budget, but be able to not pass the school budget. So we had a big hullabaloo about that and then switched that up. So I think we're trying to put all the budgets together into one question as best we can. So
Judy,
that's, go ahead, Cheryl.
If I may, I'm sorry. Judy, I think I know what you're talking about. And this, the questions that the selectmen wrote are combined differently than the way we do it with the Board of Finance. And it has been discussed, so I think next year you'll see it done differently.
Okay.
All right.
I understand
Okay.
what you're talking about, though, yeah.
Yeah, it just threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's confusing because what we're saying, we combine them one way and then the Board of Selectmen combine them a different way for the town meeting, and it's confusing. So we did discuss it. I think you'll see it done differently next year.
Okay, I'm just, if anybody's in the meetings, well, we usually don't have a ton of people, but I mean, if anybody's in the meeting, and they ask, why doesn't it reflect the same as what was discussed? What's written in the minutes, then, you have to have a good answer for why it changed,
Yeah.
because the minutes are public. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's a great question.
Good job, Judy. But again, back to this set of minutes, I still feel like this set of minutes reflects what actually happened at that meeting.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So your point is a broader point for a better way to do it in the future. But for this set of minutes, I kind of want to stick with it the way we did it, I think. Do you agree?
I do. I don't know who you're talking to.
I'm talking to Judy.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just wanted clarification that was in our minutes of the discussion that, they were different in case somebody poses that question, because the minutes are a legal document and it's changed. That's all.
It's actually not changed. It's just presented differently.
Presented differently. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying.
I'm comfortable taking the heat on that. If somebody gives you a headache on it, send them my way.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other observations with this particular set of minutes? All the same people. All in favor of the motion to accept this set of minutes?
Aye.
Uh,
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. And then we have last but not least, we have the special meeting of April 26th, which followed the public hearing. And so this was where we passed the motions to send it off to the town meeting. And as I saw it, and I actually did review this one, and I think this one was done really well. So anyway, I'll need a motion to accept this set of minutes.
Where is it? I don't see it.
Yeah, I sent it out. I didn't see it on the town website, but I did make sure that I sent it out to everybody. So we'll get it up on the town website at some point. I'm not sure why it's not there, but I did go back to make sure that I sent it out to everybody. So it's out there somewhere.
I see it on the website on 426.
Yeah.
It's just not with the bunch that we had for tonight. It's there though.
Yeah, so I think the 26th, well, anyway,
Oh, come on. What the heck? It's giving me a hard time.
yeah. Cheryl, I did send this set of minutes out. I did go back through and look. I didn't see it exactly on our website, but I do think that I got a response from the town clerk that this had been put in there. I don't know. I just don't know if this one ended up on the website.
I can see the title, Chuck. I just can't open it.
Huh.
You have to download these things now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's giving me a hard time. I'll just take your word for it, Chuck.
Well, I could read this set out loud if anybody wants. It's only a page and a half.
No, let it go. I'll do the first.
All right.
To profit.
So this was, all right, so Judy's the first. Do I have a second?
Second, Angie DeSanto.
Angie, thank you. So this was right after the public hearing and the Ashford Board of Finance special meeting of April 26, 2021. We called the meeting to order at 7:28. We sat Paul Varga as our new alternate member and was seated for Garth Bean. New business, any budget adjustments with motions to the budget to send to the Board of Selectmen for the town meeting. And then the motions were made. Judy moved and Angie seconded a motion to approve an appropriation of $3,524,795 for the general government budget for fiscal year 21-22 to be presented at the town annual meeting. The motion passed unanimously. The second motion, Ms. Austin moved and Mr. Burnham seconded a motion to approve an appropriation of $8,602 for the Ashford Board of Education budget for fiscal year 21-22 to be presented at the annual town meeting. Motion passed unanimously. Third motion, Mr. Burnham moved and Ms. DeSanto seconded a motion to approve an appropriation of $3,511,490 for Ashford share of regional school district 19 budget for fiscal year 21-22 to be presented at the town annual meeting. Fourth motion, Mr. Varga moved and Mr. Kopek seconded a motion to approve an appropriation of $955,045 for the capital improvement budget for fiscal year 2021 to be presented at the town annual meeting. Motion passed unanimously. New business, motion to the Board of Selectmen for an annual town meeting referendum dates. Jesse Burnham moved and Angie DeSanto seconded a motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen scheduling an annual meeting adjourning to referendum for the consideration of the 2022 budget. Motion passed unanimously. Judy moved and Paul seconded a motion to adjourn at 7:44. Motion passed unanimously. So we did all that in about 15 minutes.
It's the fiscal year 2021 to 22.
Correct. Yep, that's correct. So that's, I just read you the minutes, so we have a first, we have a second, in favor of passing up these special meeting minutes.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you.
I think Garth, I think I abstain, right? I wasn't there.
You were not there. That's right. So Garth abstains. Any public comments? All right, since we have no public here. New business, selectmen's update. We have no selectmen tonight. Couple of quick things. That Catherine wanted us to be aware of, that the small town details of the COVID relief money, that how that can be utilized is still not clear. So we're waiting for clarification on what those monies can be utilized for. And actually, I think how much we have as well, right, Cheryl? Okay. And then the other thing that she wanted us to have a heads up as a Board of Finance, she did not go into great detail, but she said the legal expenses that the town is dealing with, it is most likely that they're going to exceed the budget. So she just wanted us to be aware of that. I'm going to let her at our subsequent meeting elaborate on what she can with that. So that's the selectmen's update. Next new business item is approve the audit firm for fiscal year 2021 town audit. I am assuming, this is why we meet, I am assuming that we are in agreement that King & King has done a spectacular job for us over the last couple of years. And this is their third year of contract with us. So I am assuming that we would be wanting them to perform another audit for us. So if that's the case, I need somebody to make a motion to accept King & King as the town of Ashford's audit firm for fiscal year 2021.
So moved, Angie DeSanto.
Second, John Kopek.
Thank you both. Any discussion?
No, I was just gonna ask how Cheryl felt with them and, if you had any feedback this year with all the changes that were going on, especially at the school. Just Judy.
With the auditors, I think they've been doing a great job. The 2 years that they've had have been extremely difficult, as you all know. And so we'll have our audit kickoff meeting and then see how it goes from there.
Okay.
I would agree with Cheryl.
Yeah.
I think these guys have been spectacular, given what they've walked into and what they're
The
trying
challenge.
to deal with. They have been just spectacular, very calm, very helpful, and very clear cut. There were opportunities for them to, quote, step in and help, where they were like, nope, basically, I'm speaking of the school. Nope, they need to get their own independent audit firm to help them. We don't want to step into that. That's not our role here. I really like the way they've approached everything. This is just me personally speaking right at the moment. my hope is to work another couple years with them. I'm hoping at some point we can give them a normal year to audit us. But so far I've been really pleased. They're very responsive every time I call. If they don't answer the phone immediately, it's very timely. They get right back to me. I've been very, very happy from my dealings with them.
Okay, I was just wondering, Cheryl's face wasn't showing it, but she's lightening up now. I see a smile.
I'm gonna give this school a chance again. So they have someone in the role of business manager who has only the year of experience at the school that she's had at Ashford School. That's her total experience with schools. She's their business manager right now, and we'll see how that works out for them. It would not be my choice, but here we
Yeah,
are.
I think we're anticipating a challenge, and I think rightly so. You know, it's going to be a challenge again. I think the difference this year is that I think we're all going to stay on top of it a little bit tighter. The couple years back, I sort of feel like I got snowed a little bit, and it took me a while to react to what wasn't happening. It won't take me that time this time. And so I've already actually talked to the auditors about, I want to be really kept up to date. Like when something's supposed to be given to them and it's not, we need to know immediately. And that's, because we are anticipating that it's going to be a challenge for them this year. It has to be. So we'll see.
Hey, Chuck. Jesse here.
Yep.
I just wanted to also toss out there that they actually reached out to me and just wanted, outside of a board meeting, they just picked me, I guess, at random and asked for my feedback about what I thought about the town finances and what they should be looking into, et cetera. So I thought that was like an extra touch of something that was, pretty good for them to be doing to get,
Good. So yeah, and you mean King and King. Excellent. Yeah, good. Great. That's nice to hear. And that's part of what they say they would do, so that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Excuse me,
Go ahead.
Did Jesse mean that? I thought it was the school that asked for his feedback on the.
No, Valerie, it was King and King.
Okay.
I just wanted to make that comment while we were still
Okay.
talking about them, but I know the conversation moved towards the school, so
Yeah.
Okay.
my comment was just about King and King reaching out about town affairs.
Yeah.
All right.
Very good. Thanks, Jesse. So Angie made the motion. John Kopek seconded a motion to accept King and King as the town of Ashford's audit firm for fiscal year 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. Motion passes. Expenditure and revenue reports. We have Cheryl here who can answer a few questions if there are any. Anybody have any questions about expenditures or revenues?
Hey Cheryl, Paul Varga.
Mhm.
I just want to make sure I understand it correctly. The encumbrances that are showing up for basically what I would consider salary or payroll,
Mhm.
Are those the anticipated remainder of the fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, we're gonna be in debt in a lot of places. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure I was reading it right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheryl, I know I've asked this question of you probably a dozen times, and I've got to be thick as a brick, but I, for some reason, can't remember. Under the maintenance of town property, and I know you've answered this before, the custodial, why are we not spending anything on the custodian of town property?
Because with the buildings closed, that person was cleaning Knowlton Hall and the VFW, or the old post office. So we didn't use the buildings, so they didn't need to be cleaned.
Okay, great, thank you.
Can I ask one question real quick, Chuck? This is John Kopak.
Absolutely.
How worried are we about the loss of revenues, loss of projected revenues?
Do you want to go to revenues now, or I was just going
Oh,
through?
yeah, right. Yeah, good point. Oh, wait.
Yeah, let's do expenditures first, John, and then we'll hit revenues. I got some questions there too. Cheryl, so under election expenses, obviously we knew that this was coming. Do you have a guess as to what the referendum's gonna cost us?
It usually costs us about $3,000.
Okay. So election expense is probably gonna be, roughly under budget, right around 8,000 by the end of the year. Oh, Cheryl, I had another question too. And this is I don't understand what it means question. So on page 5, under emergency services, there's emergency management COVID-19 related expense.
Mhm.
And under the current year expenditure, it's bracketed 3981.
Mhm.
And then it says there's a balance remaining of 3981. How does that work? What does that mean?
So this year, because we didn't know we were going to get any COVID-19 funds, we didn't have a receivable to offset that. So the auditors let us use that money that came in after the end of the fiscal year to reduce the expenditures in this year's budget.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll still be able to claim them as COVID costs, but this was a way for us to be able to use the money that we had spent.
So it's an interesting way of saying that the revenue is put into the expenditure side and not into the revenue side, correct?
The auditors will still record it as a revenue. I have to keep these things separate for them and any grant funds that we receive, but it did offset our expenditures
Okay,
in the budget.
excellent. I noticed there's a couple other line items that sort of do that same type of thing. And then actually, to Paul's point, one of the questions I did have is under Public Works, administration and overtime, we have encumbered 16,866, which leaves us with a negative balance of 590.
Right, that was an adjustment that will be offset in this month.
Okay.
Like you, I look at it afterward, and I want to also point out that we're running 2 systems simultaneously, so there are some errors that have to be adjusted afterward. It was a full-time job before, and now we're doing it twice.
Right.
So
Cheryl, could you elaborate? I know you and I have talked about this, but if you could let the board members that are here give them a little insight as to what you're dealing with right at the moment.
The finance system has proven to be more of a challenge than we even thought it would be. So the reason we're still, we were only going to run 3 months of simultaneous systems, but we decided to continue because we're having trouble even getting the beginning balances correct.
I think we lost Cheryl.
She's frozen. Oops.
Yeah, I think we lost her. I don't think she wanted to answer that question.
She's just pretending.
There she is.
Sorry, my internet dropped out.
No worries.
That's why they're charging me 9% more this month than they were a few months ago. And now you guys are all on the wrong screen. Come over here. There you go. So I don't know how far you heard, but we have to keep running the two systems because we're not confident that the new system is recording everything correctly. And we don't have the July 1st through December 30th debits and credits into the new system yet. I actually just figured out yesterday how to get the budget in. So the 21-22 budget is in the new system. But I still, it's a lot of work to get every debit and every credit from July through December into the new system so that it will be accurate figures going forward. So I've got until June 30th to do that.
Yep. So I just wanted you guys to have some sense of what, Cheryl and Laura and those folks are tackling right at the moment. I think they're doing, just spectacular work, and it is very difficult. I commend them for their perseverance. Any other questions on expenditures? So why don't we move on to revenues? John, now's a great time to ask your question.
Okay, so how worried are we about the loss of revenues?
Loss of which revenue
Revenue.
are you referring to?
Just as an overall total, there looks like there's a slew of, revenues that are positive, revenues that are negative.
Well, we got all our ECS money, so that's huge. That's the one that I was most worried about. We actually got 17,000 more than we had anticipated. Building permits are down a fraction. I mean, we'll definitely get the building permit because this is only through April. Remember, we still have May and June to go. So let's see. Is there anyone in particular, John? Interest on investments, that's just not happening.
Yeah, no, nothing in particular.
Okay.
I'm on an iPad. I can't have multiple screens open at the same time. So I don't remember what the specific ones were that I was looking at, but as long as overall we're happy, then I'm happy too.
Yeah, the tax collector as usual is doing an awesome job. She's over collected the prior year levy, the interest in liens and the motor vehicle supplemental. And she's, I don't remember the exact percentages, but I think she's already at 97% for her motor vehicles and close to that for real estate. So she's working with everybody, trying to get, time payments if they need it, and really working with everybody to get that done. I'm not sure what is going on with the housing authority this year. Sometimes we have to forgive it because they have a dilemma and they can't come up with the money, but I haven't heard that this year, so they should be on target. But if you have a specific question, John, you can always email me or call me.
Okay, thanks.
Not next week though, because I won't answer. I'll be on vacation in Vermont. But if you have a finance emergency, you can call me.
Thanks.
Cheryl, any thoughts on why, one of my questions was why ECS went up? That was just random?
I don't recall, but it could be because we budgeted before we had the figure.
Okay. Okay.
So overall, we're only short $10,000 for the year, and we'll easily
Yeah, with a month and a half to go.
2 months, because this is only through the end of April.
Right. Right. So yeah, no, that's fantastic. I kind of went right to that number and saw we were, 900 and, $9,952, which is, that's fantastic for April. Good. Any other expenditure and revenue questions? Next agenda item, fiscal year 1920 annual report update. Jesse, if you've got anything to update us, that'd be great.
All right, sure. We're tracking on it. A lot of the reports been assembled. We are short 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 6 departments or 6 individual reports we're waiting on. And I sent out some more recent emails to those groups or to try to get those brought in.
Catherine wanted me to assure you that your harassment has paid dividends and that she will be getting you a report by next week.
All right, good. She was one of the ones that I emailed. I was trying to not put too much spotlight on her. And then also, Cheryl, the audit report that you sent to me before, I guess that's not complete. I got to double check that. So I might need a electronic copy of the full audit report to include.
You don't want to include the full report. That's another, 60 pages, 60 some odd pages.
Okay. So that should just be the abbreviated version.
Yeah, that's usually what we put in.
Okay.
But if you want something else, I can certainly provide it.
All right, I'll double check that and make sure.
Okay.
But
okay.
All right.
Not next week though. Not next week. That does not constitute an emergency.
Okay. All right. So yeah, pretty much other than that, we're moving along on it. And
very good. Thank you. I had meant to add another item for new business. John, are you interested in speaking about the finance committee?
Sure. I was just going to mention it under items for the good of the board, but yeah, we're still.
So I think what we need, John, I think we need to have a motion to add that to our agenda. So we need a motion to add a update on the finance committee.
All right, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Judy Austin, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you, John. So go ahead.
Basically, not much has changed. We're just waiting for the budget season to kind of finish off before we start gathering information to start calling these places. I figure everybody's still pretty busy right now. But we'll be having a meeting in the not too distant future to establish the questions. And then we'll break up all the different towns that we're going to call among the members, and everybody will have the same script of questions to get answers to. And then that way we can compile the data and compare everything.
John, are you comfortable speaking to the veracity of this particular board or this committee? Or are you willing to sort of take a run at it and see what happens? I'm okay not talking about it here, or we can, depending on what you think is the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard different information out there about the purpose of the committee and what's happening and whatnot. And I'm not sure how much buy-in there is to, we have no lever at this point, so I'm not sure what the concerns are. I mean, this is really just gathering information and going from there. There's no actual answer changes that are specifically coming out of this committee. It's just to gain some information. So I don't know if there's any interest on the board side, on the town side. I'm not sure where really we stand on that. That's just what I've heard so far.
So I'm just going to rephrase that a little bit for the board members. I don't want this finance committee group to waste their time. And so basically what John is hearing through the rumor mill is that there's not a lot of buy-in on this at the school level, or even it could potentially just be an individual. We don't know. But the point is, if the school is not willing to keep an open mind on a combined finance office, we have no authority, none whatsoever, to force that to happen. It can only happen if the school decides that it's in their best interest. I don't have any preconceived notion one way or the other, whether it is good or isn't good for all of us. But I'm a little distressed that possibly the school just wants us to go through the exercise, but has no intention of actually considering it. And I don't want to waste our time. If there's just no buy-in at all, or an interest in what that may look like, why would we do it? So to that end, I guess I'm asking the board members, are you comfortable with me reaching out to the Board of Ed chair and trying to have a candid conversation about this particular topic? And if it doesn't appear that they're going to buy in to what this committee is trying to explore, why chase our tails?
I agree.
Yeah, I'd rather know now than after 6 more months of work.
Yeah. So are you guys okay with me reaching out to John Lippert and kind of seeing what that group is thinking?
Yep.
Sure, but I don't understand why just looking into something to get some information and understanding and perhaps a better way of doing things, they wouldn't have any interest. I don't understand that.
I have a feeling that it's probably, and I am very much guessing here. I don't know, but if you were asking me to guess, my guess is they don't want the perception of losing control. And I think there's a perception that a combined finance office would somehow, the town would suddenly be into their inner workings, and they would lose control. And I suspect that's, but I don't know.
Right, there is a problem if that's the case. Enough said.
All right, so I'll do that. John, thank you.
Thank you.
In here, I have second opportunity for public comments. Public.
There's no public.
Yeah, that seems to be a useful one. Agenda items for May 27th, 2021 regular meeting. Cheryl, am I okay if we set the mill rate then? I don't have to call a special meeting for setting the mill rate, correct?
No, I don't think you have to have a special meeting. It's so
Right.
soon after. I'm just thinking about the tax collector, but as long as she gets her stuff, we get the minutes right away, then she can do her thing.
That's what I was thinking too. I'll reach out to Linda just to make sure, but it
Mhm.
seems to me that we should just do that in our regular meeting slot. It's only 2 days later.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. That's the only thing I have for that meeting. We will be without Valerie on that particular meeting, so we're going to try to keep it really, really simple.
Lots of confidence, Chuck.
Agenda item number 9 is remarks for the good of the board. And the only thing I would say about remarks for the good of the board, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I really mean it. I am so pleased with all of you willing to take the time to do what we had to do tonight as all the other nights. And I commend all of you for your commitment to doing what we're doing. Last agenda item is a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Judy.
Second,
First, I need a second.
second.
Second,
John.
Angie.
All right, I think John was first on that one, Angie.
Okay.
John seconded.
Stop.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you all.
Thanks, Chuck.
All right.
Good night,
night.
Chuck. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Have a good night.